Obote and Nkrumah were phone calls of whatever strategic kind of stuff for the one united continent.
Obote.
Because
Leave the man to rest in
he
peace.
was at the heart of this.
Tell me, not this sloganeering of protecting your gains, protecting. No.
But that's the one thing I've heard.
What? Have you heard of anybody with an agenda, manifesto, where you say, yes, this one is speaking to my heart?
None.
Let's talk about the manifesto.
None. You know, the manifesto which is lacking and missing is UPC's manifesto.
I'll tell you everything UPC, everything UPC. Everything UPC.
Are you blaming UPC manifesto for
Despite television, Andy Dumba live. This show belongs to Comrade Joseph Otieno. Comrade Joseph Otieno, he has many titles. Number one, he's a permanent spokesperson for the dead Milton Obote and the living. So he worked for him when he was living, and he died and he's still working for him. But now he says he's now working for the idea. The body died, but the idea remains. So he's the spokes for the idea. Number two, UPC has 4 presidents. Number one, Akena, the son of Obote. Number 2, Joseph Otieno. Number 3, there is this lawyer Peter. Number 4,
Dennis Enap.
So he's a party president of UPC. Now what should I add there? Party president, UPC. But last night I saw another president online saying, I am soliciting money for the UPC candidates.
No.
Now you are here.
No. There are 3 people claiming party presidency: Akena, Peter Olobiri, and Dennis Enap. For me, I am the should-be president.
You should be, but you are not. Yes.
Yeah, because I am the nearest to the presidency because elections were held. I won those elections, and the elections were rigged. I went to court, which Museveni promised in 2001 in his manifesto. That part of it was law and order and trying to strengthen the court. But whatever is strengthening is basically helping. Yes.
But the seat, somebody took it.
That's correct.
So you are seated on the floor.
That's correct. Now, okay. But for the others, they make those claims. But I think you're right in your introduction. Anything that Jimmy is doing in the name of UPC leadership, maybe the police should be watching because he has no authority.
What legally speaking, when court said, no, Akena, you are not the legally elected president of UPC, what does that encompass to Akena's activities vis-a-vis UPC as a political party? Last night I saw him launching a fundraising drive online for UPC candidates, and he was introduced as UPC president. When the court says you are not the elected leader, but you have gone ahead to mobilize in the capacity of that very office that court has said you are not occupying legally, what comes into your mind? What's that?
Yeah, it's impunity, and in this case, it's basically contempt of court, which contempt he has subjected the courts of this country, he's subjected the party since 2015, particularly when he was being very conveniently shielded by the very same state with whom he is now not in a particularly good relationship. Effectively, there's a contempt of court application which is pending, which may be, we expect this ruling this week, this Friday. So in one way or another, maybe there may be a determination of that. But number 2 is the fact that we asked a long time ago, 5 years ago, for 4.5 years ago, for a permanent injunction to stop Jimmy from doing anything in the name of the party officially. A more recent ruling by Justice Namanya also confirmed that. So really, effectively, anything that Jimmy does in the more recent times, including whatever you say, is basically illegal and does not bind the party in. Where some party members might think that it's okay is because we don't have a functioning leader. Anything that anybody does holding the party flag in support of party members is okay with them, but actually technically not legal and it's not constitutional. But I mean, would I say that we should send the police for them? Neither here
Are you
nor
aware
there.
of how much money he collected last night?
I don't know. I don't know. And as I said, I'm not sure whether.
Are you planning a legal action against that particular activity?
I have 4 matters in court. Already my hands are full.
Hey,
4 matters
your
in
hands
court.
are full.
Yeah.
You have 4 matters already.
Because out of the 4 matters, some of them have been going on for such a long time. I'm not sure any longer whether or not the courts have got the capacity to be burdened with an extra one. At the moment, my hope is that common sense prevails and that UPC leaders come together, something I'm trying to do, bring members and leaders together so that we're able to have some kind of consensus in which there's a leadership that takes us beyond 2026. Yes.
Why don't we invoke Milton Obote's spirit to reach out to his son? So, because you said you want to invoke common sense, if he has failed to invoke common sense by himself, why didn't you invoke the spirit of Milton Obote? Because you told me you speak to that man.
Yes, and I have been invoking his spirit on anybody who seeks to associate me with anything to do with NRA or NRA theft or compromise of the party. But I thought that I should remain focused on protecting the party rather than doing damage to some crooked party members who go on. That I leave that for old Milton's spirit and old Milton and those people's own conscience, maybe including his own son.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's leave there. Comrade Ochieno, this week we saw the increased violence in the ongoing presidential elections. Increased violence. Now, like never before, they have even now unleashed dogs to be part of the machinery for crowd control in an election. You were in exile for almost 30 years in the UK. There have been elections. Am I correct when I say 30 years almost?
I was officially in exile for 17 years, but I've been in and out UK for nearly another 20 years since.
And you've been also an election observer in many of the African countries.
No.
Did dog deployment ever happen in any African country?
Never in my life, never even under Idi Amin. We did not see dogs being used against civilians. But Amin killed Ugandans. He killed predominantly UPC members and UPC leaders, but he killed across.
Obote killed some people.
Obote never killed anybody. You better withdraw that, but people died.
I think that nobody died out of political persecution in Obote's government.
No. NRA killed people in Luwero. If you want to call that Obote killing, ask Mr. Museveni and his bunch.
His bunch?
Yes.
His bunch is the wrong word.
No, people who mobilize
bunch
people
of Matoke, bunch of banana.
People who mobilize, organize and mobilize, okay, to go and break people's necks, I don't know what name you give them. And I'm saying that very intentionally to you, because the beginning of our conversation is that under NRA after 40 years, we can have an election process in which dogs are unleashed against the citizens of this country. And earlier I was trying to invoke to you that an NRA manifesto in which Mr. Museveni boasts and claims 2001 election was going to be his last. He says part of the thing that he was trying to do was to restore constitutionalism, to strengthen democracy, and amongst others, also to say that, the achievement, is because we overthrew those dictatorships, whichever they are. So if Obote's first and second administration were dictatorships, what criminality is the NRA of today, unleashing dogs on the people?
You watching me, you answer that question. Me, I don't have an answer.
I'll continue a bit. Before we came on air, and I know we have a short time on this program today, I was speaking to one of your young people, and by the way, thank you for the good work that you do. I try to do as much as I can with young guys. And I was trying to talk to one of the young people around your team. And these are people in their 20s. And part of their argument is that, they no longer see any faith, any hope, any wish to participate in the election or even to associate with political parties. One of these young people I was trying to talk to was 17, 18, leading to the emergence of Robert Kyagulanyi. At the moment, they can't even think of associating not only with Kyagulanyi but with anybody else because of the extremes of intolerance by NRA, meaning that if these young people behaved just a little quarter like the way the Musevenis and their bunch behaved in 1980, the whole country would be wrapped up by nothing else but rebellion. And yet those of us who are responsible leaders are simply saying that no, not in that way. So in other words, I'm actually saying that no, it's a shame on these guys to do what they're trying to do.
Forget about the person you were engaging, a young leader. I am here.
I was coming to that actually, yes.
I am your fellow,
Sorry.
elder here. I might be...
You're very smart, by the way. Smart
Really?
host, yes.
This one? This one is from Burkina
Are you sure this is not from African spirits? We should invoke them and unleash them on dictators,
This
and masters
this
of
is
terror.
Burkina
who-
Faso.
Huh?
Burkina. Do you know the meaning of Burkina Faso?
No, tell us.
Burkina Faso means the land,
The land.
of the upright. The land of the incorruptible.
They can boast, man. Sankara.
The land of the incorruptible. The land of the upright. That's what the word Burkina Faso means. So when you meet a Burkinabe, he is an upright person. He is an incorruptible person.
Do you think we should mobilize Ugandans and instead of going to occupy the Indian Ocean,
We go to spy Burkina Faso.
we walk towards Burkina Faso so that
And we say,
we
please,
get
we have come here,
we
you guys.
cleanse us. Do you think we should do that?
Yeah, we go and fall on their souls so that we can get cleansed.
You know?
But let's come back. Now, you were talking to a young man of 17, 18. I am here.
Of that, yeah.
I am here. I'm older than that. But I can tell you, in my whole entire life, Joseph, this one is very important. And you should know the pain I have gone through. In my entire life, as old as I am, I have only seen one president. But that's not enough. That's okay. In my entire life, I have only managed to vote once. And that experience I went through, voting that was 2011. That's when I decided to say, I even traveled from Kampala to Fort Porto, to my village polling station. I put in my fuel, I put in my time. I drove my family, I said, let's go and vote the person we want. 2011 was the last time I ever voted in Ugandan politics. Not politics, because there is no politics in Uganda. So, I swore to God, I will never engage in this politics again.
Until UPC comes in and reorganizes it?
No.
That's extraordinary.
Until God says that, Irumba, we have cleansed Uganda, now you're like Burkina Faso. That's when I will. This is very important. And Otieno,
and I'm taking it very seriously.
As enlightened as I am, I know what it means by myself walking and cast my vote to support my choice. I know. But because of what has been happening in Uganda, I have forsaken that right. I have given it up. I have given up that right for me to choose a leader of myself. My last time to vote and my first time to vote was 2011. Otieno, you will never see Irumba in Ugandan lining up to go and vote. Never. I will be there as a journalist. But to say Irumba is no. Why? Otieno, if my vote cannot determine what happens in the counting of the votes, my vote cannot determine, then my vote is useless. Why do we go to vote? So that we determine the outcome. Now, if somebody is predetermining the outcome, why am I voting? Why? Why am I involving myself in that level of violence? That level of hypocrisy, pretending that Otieno, you have the right to vote and choose your leader. Then I go to vote. Then you will determine for me the leader. Why should I involve myself in such? Look at the number of lives we've lost in violence. Look at the number of youth, young people who should be building Africa. They're in prison. Now, when they're in prison, you and I, they are collecting taxes from us, buying a portion for them. These are people who are supposed to be working for ourselves, for the country. Instead, they are handcuffed for nothing but for politics. Then we feed them. So, your politics, Comrade Joseph, even when UPC comes in power, like you are saying here, no, when UPC was in power,
we are not
when UPC was in power, it was not roses.
No.
It was not a bed of roses.
It wasn't a bed of roses.
Yeah, so
it was not.
Don't even talk about the UPC. When UPC comes, when it was here, what was happening?
It was not a bed of roses, but when UPC was in government, twice when UPC went to government, UPC participated in elections which it did not organize, and UPC came out and won those elections. But most importantly, and I get your point, that at least you can say that when UPC won and came into government, notwithstanding all the challenges, UPC sought to give hope to the young people of this country. UPC sought to ensure that there was rule of law. UPC sought to ensure that the judicial system worked. UPC sought to make sure that every public institution worked. And even in Obote 1, where you can link up these things about arrests, where there was the detention without trial, that detention without trial referred to specific 7 members of cabinet, who were detained. But there is evidence, and you're a journalist, and I like your journalistic group called the Spy. So you join,
Spy and Detective
UG. You go and check. You'll find that these people were genuinely Ugandans, genuinely involved in planning to overthrow the democratically elected government of Uganda, and they were doing so together with forces, anti-Africanist forces, in fact, imperialist forces, fueling them. And even then, these people were merely detained and taken, and I'm told they led a relatively high-class equivalent of 4-star, 5-star equivalent in Lozera. That for the record. The only other time when an opposition leader is arrested and detained is Ben Chiwanuka, who had been formally involved in an assassination attempt against the then president.
Who was that?
Milton Obote. Pick those and put them away. No other in terms of those relations. So you can't compare. In Obote 2, UPC 2, after victory, as I said, you find Museveni, Kagame, and their bunch losing elections.
But why don't we replace the word bunch with something else?
Because I don't know what to call them.
You keep bringing a bunch.
Okay,
bunch.
Museveni.
When you're talking about bunch,
Museveni.
A bunch of matoke, a bunch of banana.
Museveni and Kagame and their group of bandits, fellow bandits. Because bandits.
So from a bunch to bandits.
Yes, because I don't know any other word I can use. When you mobilize, and then you go and pick young children like 7, 8, 9-year-olds, and then you give them guns, and then you give them grenades, and you go to the bush, and they throw grenades at people, and you throw grenades at buses, and you come and throw grenades in a window market. I don't know what I call you. And yet, in the contrary, you see what the NRA police and NRA army did, including that video of the other day, post-Chagulanyi rally, where ordinary young Ugandans have just come out of a rally and they're just merely walking home, and you see what happened. Do the comparison. So I don't know what discrimination I can give. And the pain for me is not in the naming. The pain for me is that we went through those things. We have forgiven me. I forgave Museveni, forgive Kagame, and I forgive the entire lot and the bunch and the bandits who went to Luwero, did whatever they did. I have forgiven all of them. But my hope is that after 40 years, Andrew, including when before you were born, that really you should not be subjected. And I feel pain for you. And I feel pain for your young people, your camera people and others, who are basically young people, who genuinely want a future for themselves. I feel sad, that out of that lesson. So really, why did these people go to break people's necks in the bushes? Surely why? And I'm trying to tell you, in comparison with the Uganda Post-Congress, so in Obote 2, as these people were throwing bombs, there is no member of parliament who was subject to what these NRA guys had done. There's no way any leader of opposition who was subject to that. There was a system that was functioning, except it was a government recovering from Idi Amin, and a government also facing rebellion from Museveni and this group, who were basically fighting up and including around Kampala. By the way, Cressy Towers was headquarters for Ministry of Education and also Ministry of Internal Affairs. Dr. John Woolza Kirunda's life, Minister for Internal Affairs, his life was attempted on Crescent Towers, he narrowly missed death. Crescent Towers, built by Uganda Post Congress, it now belongs to dubious Boers. I can count for you these things on and on and on and on and on and on. So that's what I'm talking about. It is sad.
You're a very, latent man, very educated, well leveled.
Yes, sir.
And now, sometimes the choice of words you use.
Yeah, because I'm reasonably educated, reasonably learned, reasonably read, and so the choice of words I use, very deliberate, you're right, and they intended to mean exactly that. Do you get it? And for a Pan-Africanist like you, once in a while, why don't you clap for me for using some of those words, particularly against the forces?
Yet I am contesting the use of those words.
Which one?
And you want me to clap?
Like which one?
Bandits, bunch. And by the way,
the
word bandit, bunch, those are the very words of your fallen president.
No, Obote was not my fallen president. Obote is the fallen father of the Republic of Uganda and my president.
Okay, yes, but those are the very words I used to listen to him on KFM with Andrew.
And then do you know what?
From Lusaka, Zambia.
He was very generous. He was very generous.
Bunch of people.
Yes,
Bandits.
yes, because he was very generous. He was calling them bandits. Today we would call them terrorists. Imagine calling these guys, in the streets of Kampala terrorists. Okay. By the actually, these guys, man, maybe we should withdraw the word bandits and use much more stronger words. Well, these guys who, you find one guy being surrounded by, 5, angry police-looking people in the trucks, whatever. Why are they hiding? Are they cowards?
I don't know.
Are they cowards?
Now, Comrade Ochieno, let's talk about the violence in these presidential elections. Specifically, I want to be specific. I have seen and witnessed that much of the violence is being meted on Bobi Wine's supporters. Police has reached a point of blocking supporters from following their leader. They have even issued statements that you are not supposed to move with your supporters to another rally. No, you should go and find them there. But how do they find themselves there? By frog walking, by jumping, by aeroplane, by how? They must use the road. But now they block them along the road and disperse them and tear gas them. Number two, I have seen a video clip where a police patrol, I don't know if they have seen it. You already see it. Have you seen that clip? Where a police patrol car intentionally knocks a border Noob supporter.
I heard about it. I fear violence.
And
so
then
I
after
don't
knocking him, instead of saying sorry, he turns out when this man tries to complain, he tear gases straight in
I've been told. Yeah, I've been told. Yes.
Number 3, I have seen Bob when he finished his rally, as he's moving away, the supporters that remain at the venue, they are tear gas, they are arrested. Then I saw a group of people falling in a trench with an elderly woman. Are these signs of like the regime has realized Bob Wine is gaining ground? Because we did not begin like this. We began peacefully. So this sense that the police is now, typically focusing on one candidate and ignoring most of the others. Is it a sign that they have seen what we have not seen? That it seems this man is gaining ground against our chosen one?
And if this guy was gaining grounds, and if indeed he was the favorite challenger of Mr. Museveni, what's wrong with that?
No, I have no problem.
No, because it's merely an election.
I'm just asking
No,
you,
I'm not asking
is that a sign that they have also seen?
Yeah, so it's completely unacceptable. But, I was with a senior member of NRA the other week, and Trice, this particular individual, is a good friend of mine, was saying that, look, from their experience, if Kyagulanyi goes for a rally in, say, Lyantonde, and Museveni is in a rally in Kiriadongo. You can sample out 10 people in Kampala and ask where Kyagulanyi is, and maybe only 2 will tell you that's in Lyantonde. And maybe 7 will tell you Museveni is in Kiriadongo. But if you tear gas Kyagulanyi's supporters, 9 out of 10 will say he's there. So the argument this gentleman was making was that he told their cadre security services that, look, you're popularizing this guy by tear gassing his fans. And over a period of time, I thought that message would have gone into the security services. Not necessarily that it should be a consolation that you stop tear gassing Kyagulanyi simply because you're popularizing him. But I'm simply inherently, legally, and politically wrong. And so I am one of those people who, I think even with you, we had initially in the early stages of this program hoped that you and I, who had been very critical about 2021 election violence, that NRA guys had listened to us and had been shamed and that cautiously come to the view that it is not good for them to repeat what they did in 2021. And so therefore that we will not see as much, we will not see violence, if at all, in this election process, both for presidential and parliamentary elections. But this is where we are, in which case then your question becomes even more relevant. That maybe, could it be the case that these guys are beginning to panic because they didn't expect that Kyagulanyi might gain as much traction. But in any case, whatever it is, I am not quite sure who advises these guys, except that they feel that they now have the monopoly of the instruments of violence, and that because they've weaponized all the public services and public institutions, and they've now translated the army and the police as official militia for a particular regime, a particular political organization. They should come out and explain it, unless you did not see soldiers in part of those rallies that you're referring to. And I wonder, what basically were soldiers doing in policing a rally and policing a group of rallies people have been going on? As Ochieno, they should be president of Uganda People's Congress. As Ochieno, they should be candidate number 9 in this election. I say this very authoritatively. And I ask of candidate Mr. Museveni to give me, Joseph Ochieno, an answer. So if you think about the editorial position of your publication, don't worry. I'm asking as Ochieno, and I want to hear a phone call from Mr. Museveni and his residence. Okay, no, but it's very difficult to have one. But anyway, so no. So what it is, no, we demand an answer and we expect an answer. And as I said, as the leader of a political party that was beaten and beaten and beaten by bandits in the name of democratization, I find it unacceptable that 40 years later, young Ugandans should be going through this. But also, number 2, that I said before, I will say it again, that just like your young person I was talking to earlier, in 1980, I had just turned 18 to vote.
You?
Yes. But I never saw police officers. There was no police in Nagongora polling station where I went. Not at Mahanga, where I voted at the time, nor anywhere else. And definitely, I did not see soldiers anywhere throughout the election campaign in the whole of my sub-county. I did not see a soldier. And so I'm saying this in 1980.
They could have been in civilian clothes.
In 1980, let this one also go in civilian places. At least maybe we shall spare Jikibokos, including that NUP girl whose leg was nearly broken the other day on that video. Okay, you NRA guys, go into civilian clothes. Please go in civilian clothes so long as you behave like the UNLA guys of 1980, in case, as Andrew says, that the UNLA guys were dressed in civilian clothes. And you, NRA police, for once, go to church on Sunday and wake up on Monday and begin to behave at least like the National Ugandan Police Forces of 1980, because now you're NRA police. Certainly they're not UPC police forces. Surely, what is it that these guys are doing? What is it? It's completely unacceptable. But whatever it is, guys should know that there's an agency called ICC, International Criminal Court. Now Museveni played with the.
Which is very
no, it's not actually. Museveni played with the.
About his ICC.
No, I know your views. I know your views on this thing. No.
An ICC that was put there, but has only been watching over African matters, not Trump, not Israel, not any other part of the world, but Africa.
I know where you're going down there. And that ICC, Museveni used it against Kony, and I argued that the ICC does things about Kony, but it does nothing against NRA, ICC. So that ICC, once you continue serving ICC's interest in Congo, wherever, those kind of places, it can catch up with you. Ask those other guys in Cote d'Ivoire and ask these guys in Southern Africa. That's what I'm trying to say. But whatever the case, ICC or not ICC, this republic is going to remain here for me and you and our children. Me, I'm a grandfather, so you guys don't joke. So whatever happens, my blood is completely rooted here over the next 100 years. There is no criminal in this country that is going to hide anywhere.
The blood of Museveni and his family is also rooted even through the Wachwezi dynasty for the next 300 years. Yours is 100 years. Museveni is 300 years.
No, that's not what I said.
Actually, right now, even the blood of the Wachwezi dynasty is not even moving through East Africa, looking for leadership. Uganda is finished. Rwanda is finished. Now they are looking for Congo. So they want to install their own Wachwezi dynasty in Congo. Then move to South Sudan.
Is Museveni Muchwezi?
Then Kenya William Ruto. Museveni is blue-eyed boy. Then you man, you was 100, Museveni is 300 years.
All I'm saying is that in 100 years' time, whoever is playing around with the blood of a Ugandan citizen, Muchwezi or non-Muchwezi, okay, they will be held to account. That's all I'm saying.
You're just threatening. You're just threatening.
Me, I don't issue threats. In UPC, we don't threaten. We are decent people. We do it for God, Nani, Baba.
And my country.
And my country.
God and my country. Mr. Ochieno.
Yes, sir.
For so far, all the elections, the presidential campaigns that have so far been ongoing, tell me one great idea you have heard from what they call the manifesto.
Of any of the candidates?
Yes, tell me one that you remember, and what this guy is going to do for us when he gets to power. Tell me, not this sloganeering of protecting your gains, no.
But that's the one thing I've heard.
What have you heard of anybody with an agenda, manifesto, where you say, yes, this one is speaking to my heart?
None.
Let's talk about the manifesto.
None. You know, the manifesto which is lacking and missing is UPC's manifesto.
Let's end the show. I will tell you everything UPC, everything UPC.
Are you blaming UPC manifesto for protecting your gains?
Which one?
Museveni will say you're one of the gains. Remember, you say that that you're born in this era. He will add you as a number for gains.
I'm one of the gains.
At least you please clap.
Akena is soliciting money online, and you are saying he's not the president. Where is he putting the money? By the way, we should start by asking for accountability.
Yeah, you should. It's your money.
And then, so that confusion you see in UPC. Then you think that UPC
It's not a confusion in UPC.
What is it?
It's confusion between Jim Akena, a group of some dubious interesting groups, plus their friends in NRA.
All of them are UPC members.
Not all of them. No.
So you want to bring all
some of them are agents, some of them are NRA, but yeah, some of them are surprisingly UPCs, and some of them are surprisingly former UPCs, and some of them are not particularly bad people. But you're right, some of them are definitely very funny people.
So you want to bring those funny people in the state house?
They do not belong to part of the future, no.
The solution doesn't lie in UPC for Uganda.
It lies in Burkina Faso.
Actually, now you're speaking. If we could borrow Traore and we add Uganda on Burkina Faso.
I'd say last time that
I
said last time we should mobilize.
I was in Burkina Faso. Somebody defrauded me. In 1 hour, I had my money back. I even tried to appreciate the police officers who did the job. They almost arrested me for trying to corrupt them. They said what we have done is exactly what we are paid for. A state, we are we are properties of the
So
state.
when you came back from Burkina Faso,
now-
you came back via Entebbe. Did you stop over at State House? State House is our public house. It's not Rakatura.
So what I'm telling you, here, if I had complained here in Uganda, even right now I would be writing statements. They would be asking me to bring witnesses, this and that. Very bogus. In Burkina Faso. You see cameras on the roads in Uganda. They only work when they want. The particular footage that they're interested in, they will find it. The particular
I'm giving you my phone.
footage that they are not interested in, they will say the cameras were off at that time.
That is NRA for you. After 40 years. Serves you right. We tried, we did our best as UPC. We guaranteed you a future. We educated Museveni. We gave him a job. We created possibilities for him and everything
employed
else.
Museveni?
Oh, yeah.
In your UPC government?
Yes.
Are you serious?
But Museveni got the first job, you know. But Museveni, this man.
What's wrong?
Yeah?
What's wrong?
When is this guy ever going to appreciate anything Ugandan and UPC?
Museveni's first job was given to him by UPC.
Yes, yes.
What was that?
Research assistant, economic unit, president's office. Very good job. After we educated him for free in the University of Dar es Salaam.
But why did you take him to Dar es Salaam, not Makerere?
You know, because that's where the choice of his course, political science.
At Makerere it was not being offered.
You know, it was universities of East Africa, University of Nairobi, University of Dar es Salaam. And,
by then East African community was working.
it's working, and at the same time, you were able to pick constraint colleges on the basis of the courses that you wanted. It's that good, thanks to us.
So the East African community was actually working. Not like today when they talk about
And when I talk about UPC, you think no, I mean it. I know the pain. I suffer the pain because I saw it and I know it. By the pain of knowledge, the pain of evidence. And again, I was telling one of, you've got many young guys. One of the young guys that if only they knew what I knew, there would be more pain. But most importantly, young Ugandans ought to know these possibilities, including what we are discussing, so that they can begin to believe that actually better is possible, this country is possible, East Africa is possible, one Africa is possible. Unless they got to understand that our founding parents sought to build foundation for that. They think that when you talk about Burkina Faso, you're talking impossibilities because they see it as a dream. You know? They ought to know that Obote and Nkrumah were phone calls of whatever strategic kind of stuff for the one united continent.
Obote.
Because
Leave the man to rest in
he
peace.
was at the heart of this. But the idea is what we're discussing.
And on that note, we've come to the end of today's show, Andrew Dumba Live, with my elder Joseph Ochieno, the permanent spokes of Obote, the idea.
Amen. You're a gentleman.
Thank you.